There's a great short film you can watch on YouTube about a guy building our solar system in the desert within a 7-mile scale. For better perspective and understanding, the short film inspired me to do this myself using my neighborhood within a 2-mile scale. Most of what we've learned from magazines and books when we were kids, or even on the internet if you do a search, is scale size. You see the objects, but you don't see the distance between them. So I found this cool little solar system model calculator on the internet, where you can plug in any sun size you want to, and then it gives you all the sizes of the planets to scale and the distances between them. We'll convert feet to yards and yards to mile. Then we find some household objects. So the sun will be a stability ball. These two BBs will represent Earth, Venus, Mars, Pluto, some of the smaller planets, and then Jupiter will be represented by the prickly ball and Saturn as well. And then we have these two super balls that will represent Uranus and Neptune. At this scale, we'll use a Google map where I live and overlay the distances each planet orbits the sun. Zoom in a little. Zoom in. Overlay a satellite image of my neighborhood and home, and place the sun on the street in front of my driveway and mark it with a circle. Okay, we've got all these balls that represent various planets. We don't have something small enough for Mercury or Mars, and so this is going to represent Mercury, and it's going to represent Earth, and then it's also going to represent Mars as we go and plot out the planets. At this scale, Mercury is almost an 1/8 inch in diameter and orbits the Sun 31 yards away. According to this scale, which this is 27 inches diameter, the Sun, Mercury would be about, well, it would be smaller than a 1/4 of an inch, but we're going to use this little ball, which is a 1/4 of an inch, to represent Mercury. So we're going to plot that out, and we're going to start walking as well. Okay, I've walked 31 yards. So this is going to represent, this little BB is going to represent Mercury. I'm going to circle it where Mercury is, and this is its orbit around the Sun. So that, looking back at the Sun. Sally, hold the Sun in place. At this scale, Venus is almost the size of Earth at a 1/4 of an inch in diameter. This is going to represent Venus, and it's 59 yards away from the Sun. There's the Sun back there. And now we've plotted Mercury. That's Mercury's orbit. And now that was 31, so we're going to go on. 7, 8, 59. So right here is where we'll put Venus. Give me another shot looking back at the Sun. We're going to circle Venus. We're going to mark its path, orbit. Venus, there's the Sun way over there. Okay, we're getting farther away. At this scale, Earth is at a 1/4 of an inch in diameter and orbits at 82 yards away from the Sun. And now we're going to go 82 yards, and this will be where Earth sits. Okay, so we're at 59, so 60. 79, 80, 81, 82. So this is where Earth is going to sit. And going to circle it. And we've got its orbit path around the sun. And now you can look back at the sun. There you go. And you can see Earth, and there's the sun way over there. Mars orbits at 125 yards away from the sun at this scale. Okay, so this is going to represent Mars now. We're going to go, we're at 82 right here where Earth is, and we're going 125 yards to Mars. 83, 84, 85, 86, 7, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 120, 121, 122, 123, 124, 125 right there. We're going to circle Mars. Circle Mars. There's Mars' orbit around the sun. Let's look back at the sun. There's Sally way down there. You can see Sally, and you can see the sun way over there. It's getting smaller. And that is Mars' orbit. Leaving Mars and traveling toward Jupiter's orbit, the asteroid belt is about 149 million kilometers thick and starts at 329 million kilometers away from the sun. At this scale, it would be about 154 yards from the sun. Jupiter, at this scale, orbits at 427 yards from the sun. Where Jupiter sits, we can no longer see the sun at my house. Now we will zoom out and flip the system on its side so we can see more of where we've been. Next stop, Saturn. The orbit sits about half a mile away from the sun at this scale. Of course, in space, we wouldn't have all this stuff in the way preventing us from seeing the sun. Uranus sits about a mile away from my house and is about an inch in diameter at this scale. Keep in mind, these are huge worlds out in space. Neptune sits about a mile and a half away from the sun at this scale. Pluto sits at a 1.8 mile orbit, and we've reached the outskirts of our destination within a 2-mile scale of our solar system. I find it amazing how small we are compared to the space between.
put things in perspective, leaving our solar system, the next closest star system at this scale would be 12,000 miles away. I hope you enjoyed this little exercise. Anyone should be amazed.